So we're back. And I want to preface this, guys, by saying I am not a mentor. I'm just a student of the game that's going to constantly learn. So that's going to stay constantly learning. And I want to say that because I want to get it off my chest and just really, because everyone is saying, like, this guy's a mentor, at least people in my immediate circles. And in reality, I'm not. I'm just a student of the game, student of life in general. And I don't always have all the answers, but I'm constantly working towards those answers. So that being said, though, I do have experience in trading these markets, and I'm constantly adding to that experience. So let's talk about what happened today. So looking at the markets, we're starting the week off fresh. Um, Monday, you can expect a very stagnant day. Not too much going on, just setting the tone for the week. These days are days that I have learned to really try to stay with the market, or if you catch a win, get on the sidelines. After that, the markets pretty much just like to be in this consolidation. Not really expecting much, especially there's no news drivers. So, what did we see? I just want to focus on what we saw today. Going into the day, we obviously, this was today here. And obviously, my mind is really on these highs right here. But I'm also keeping in mind that S&P 500 already took out these highs. So it made a higher high, an all-time high last week. Meanwhile, Nasdaq did not do so. So that's strong SMT. So as much as I want to see these highs get taken, I'm also aware of the fact that it might not do that. It might want to run out some short-term liquidity pool before maybe resuming higher. But my eyes are at these highs. Until something on the lower time frame changes, I gotta keep on envisioning that we're gonna go higher. So that being said, I am still want to see pricing at least run up to these highs, take out this liquidity pool, and get in here. And if we see some rejection there, then I might consider some sell off. But I did getting here, if we use that support, then obviously expect to continue this prices higher. But in the meantime, I see us still taking out these highs. So that was the thought process I had going into the day, right? And again, if we keep pushing, guys, we keep pushing. My expectation is these highs. That's what I'm just watching. I want to see these highs get taken out eventually, but I'm keeping in mind that S&P are ready to take those highs out, and this might cause this market to be a little slower or dance around before we even go up these highs. Okay. And then these dividers here are just me dividing the week on the 4-hour chart, the orange dividers. So you can see last week, this was the price action. The week before that, the price action here. The week before that, price action here. I'm talking about these borders here. It says Monday 11th to Monday, August 18th. And then August 18th to the 25th. And the 25th to the 1st. And the 1st to the 7th. It should be the 8th, but whatever. Point is, those encapsulate the week's worth of action. So that being said, if I'm taking a look at this, last week we took out these lows here. And if we are to do what you call a purge and revert, I'm also looking to see price took out this liquidity pool here. And now we're reversing, right? Last week reversed. And then we want to find out a way to take out, we're ready to take out this week's high. Are we going to take out this week's high as well? So that's my expectation. I still expect higher prices until otherwise. 1-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, this played more of a role today, and it's playing a role right now. This shaded yellow area, but my mind is also on these highs. Now, I was able to take some buys. However, because it's Monday, I had a good feeling that price might just jerk around here, take out intraday highs without taking out these highs. That's exactly what price did. So we're going to go into a lower time frame. You're going to see how price took out intraday highs without taking out the highs from last week, which was my expectation. Which is my expectation for this week. I still think these highs are going to get tagged. I think we're very close to it, but however, it was Monday. When it's Monday, sometimes price just plays around. So on 15-minute chart. So 15-minute chart. Again, we started the week here, 00 o'clock, right? Midnight opening price. If you draw a line, like that. That's mean that's opening price. Price kind of dip below it, and ideally on this channel we try to buy price below opening prices and sell above opening price. So one opening price to pay attention to is obviously the midnight opening price, 12 o'clock. So as price hits that level, you see price rejects it. And then one thing I'm doing, again, that's just more consistent, just sticking to a real time routine and not pressing a button anytime before 9:50. Really 10 o'clock, but 9:50. Why? Because that will allow traders within the first 30 minutes, I'll allow traders to like really get in there, place their bets, place their trades, and decide whether the market will go up or down. Like you're gonna get a real sense of what the market's likely to do, what liquidity is looking to seek for the most part. So I'm sticking to really 10 o'clock after that time. It's been 30 minutes of trading. The first initial trading has happened in the markets. You can see where all the players are, where retail's short, where retail's long, where everyone is in the market. And when price is now attached to liquidity pools, then you go from there. It's after 10 o'clock. It's what pool of liquidity is price running to? It's running higher to take out the buy side or lower to take out sell side. So in this case, if you look closer here, and for now, I'm just going to take away the yellow shaded area, which is 1 hour. It's just 1 hour, so I took away. So now you just see closing here. We have a 15-minute fair value gap or loop zone. I call that the Texas Heights, but we have a fair value gap right here. So at 10 o'clock, price up here, price dips back in here. Boom. That was a nice buy to take out these highs right here, which were the highs formed right at 9:30. So 9:30 opening price is where you see where it says new week opening gap. Connect it here. Did I get that right? I think I did something wrong, but I'm trying to move this right here. Cool. So this order week open, and that's 9:30 opening price, the orange level. So ideally, guys, we should be buying below 9:30 opening price, but in this case, I know where market's going to go. Or I knew it was high likelihood going around its highs. And also, if you look at S&P, it already ran lower, taking out liquidity pools below 9:30 opening price. I was comfortable taking these buys, trying these highs. And again, my main target was up here. However, when price started lollygagging, I realized that's probably not going to be visited, and they might save it for another day. Again, this comes by it being Monday, which is a slower day, and no news drivers. So we can expect price to be more stagnant and consolidation. So prices went higher, took out these highs. That was enough for it to just come back lower. And again, look at this consolidation. All right, this whole price action really consolidation. Draw a box like this. It's mental exercise over here, but yeah, see this box right here? That's all the consolidation. That's it. So now going into detail. So 15 minutes after 10 o'clock, we had this level exposed here. And price just dipped to that smoothly and went higher. Let's go on a 5-minute chart, look into that. I'm even with my bar replay. So look at that price run, what happened there. Okay, so now we're here. We can see clearly yeah. So if we compare the two, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, there was a clear SMT, even US 30, meaning S&P took out its lows at 1020. Let's look at it. Let's actually look at that. Boom. This is 1020, right? S&P took out its lows. right? Indicating that there's strength in Nasdaq because Nasdaq could not take out these lows, and then we traded into a 15-minute level. So it makes sense for us to expect an explosion higher to at least take out these highs. So a run from here, let's just call it 23. Let's call it 23,810 all the way to up here, 23,870. This is a 66-point run, 65-point run. That's what we can expect as price difference here. Nice buys, take price higher. So in that 1 minute chart. Again, you see price drifting lower. All sell side candles. Then we finally see a change of delivery. All right. Right here, this candle change delivery. Right here. Call it C4. Change of delivery right there, or order block. And then price creates a nice little push further, drops a little lower to a previous up close candle and downwards movement, and price goes higher. Let's go on that 30-second chart to go into more details. So on this 30-second chart, what do we see here that's important? We see a run here. Again, it's similar, it's pretty much similar. You can just see more details, more clarity on how there's a change in delivery here, right? Boom, price trades into that down close candle, pushes higher again, drops back into down close candles here, and then pushes higher, drops lower, down close candle, again C4s, and goes higher. So you kind of see um, price movement there. And you can also see how after that's SMT, all right, remember this low here, this low over here at 9:30 not get ran out, but it did so on the S&P and US 30. So when we see that, that's a good sign, and we see what change of delivery, which is good. All right, PDA creations. So let's go to the 15-second time frame as well. You kind of see this nice little run on liquidity here, nice movement. Let's go on S&P 500. Look and see how those lows really compare. See that? Slightly different too. Let's go on US 30. Really different, but focus on the main thing. The last run lower here on Nasdaq was, let's just call it 1021. 1021, 1022. That formed this nice little swing here. 1021, 1022. Let's see what's happening on S&P. See, S&P did not make a lower low, even on the second chart. Right? Because that's 1021 right here to 1022. You see these lows here are not the lowest lows. Meanwhile, on Nasdaq, all right, 1021 to 1022, you can see a nice one low made, and then balance range created, right? See this placement, pushes higher, drops into this level. This was the entry right here to then push price higher. So nice entry could have been taken right here. I just want to show level of entries, how precise we could be if we're dialed in, super dialed in. Right? And there you have it. That's a nice little price run. Nice little 1 to 5, 10, 11 points to get about 50, 60. That's not too bad. 1 to 5 on a Monday, solid. Take that and run. Right? So that was the run I saw. And then there's also a nice sell off, which I didn't really capture. But again, it's not about what I capture. It's really about what the market offered. That's what I want to focus on. What the market offered, how we could capitalize on it, right? So now let's take a look at the sell off. Was there anything unique on the sell off? Man, funny enough, S&P looked so clean. Oh, I don't know why. I mean, I took my eyes off it because I already made my chicken, after 10 o'clock. But man, S&P 500, the sell-off looks actually very, very nice. And I'm gonna show you that in a second. This looks really good. Just look at S&P, really good, man. Okay, so yeah, that's nice on S&P, man. S&P did some nice numbers here. So Nasdaq here, you can see the highest high on Nasdaq was made at 10:45. And then we had this nice drop off, a nice little zone here where price hit it and then boom, eventually took out 930 lows, which was good. So it was a nice consolidation. Price drifted away. This could have been still a good entry because why? We're still above midnight opening price, which is all the way down here, right? I'm just gonna make it dotted. How do you make it say dotted? Cool. So that was midnight opening price, all the way down here. So we're still above it, and the 930 opening price here. So this could still be a valid sell off from 23,820 for a run down here to 23,771. So another 50-point run. But if you look at S&P, look at S&P here first of all. Remember, Nasdaq. Keep in mind this is the highest high that was made here at 1045. Let's look at S&P, guys. Bum, bum, bum. Look at the beauty of this one. This one's actually nicer in my opinion. So one, this is 1045 on S&P around here, and we still had a higher high made. So that being said, we already see how price is shaping up to want to. I'm creating SMTs, right? Then after that was created, after you had an SMT, S&P 500 making higher high, and Nasdaq not, we have a C4 created. C4 is just an order block, right? But I'll just call it C4. We're talking Texas Heights language, but C4. I like just to keep it lines. Boom. C4 created. Price trades in there. Boom. Explodes away. Take out these lows. So this was actually another nice setup here. Like really nice setup. Even within that C4, right? We had a nice little loot zone right here. So this was actually very nice. This was at 12 o'clock, lunch hours. Right at lunch hour, we actually had a nice delivery. As lunch opened in this area, and we just delivered lower. And we're to just take this for a second, put it right here. Like a 4-point stop loss to capture. Oh, my move so slow. Sorry, guys. It was a capture 20. Not bad. Right? And it took out London's low, 2 o'clock. Right? And really took out the whole day's low if it just put this over here. This made an opening price. So this was actually a nice entry for a sell-off here on S&P. So I'm trying to get better interchange between the two, especially when the opportunity exists. Now let's go on the 1 minute chart for a second. I mean, 1 minute chart was clean. It was very pure, very pure. Like hit this level, boom, give us a displacement on the lower time frame right there. So running away from that level in the lower time frame, we see it give us a nice display. Guys, I'm buying new mouse today. I said it so many times when I was live streaming, but I'm gonna buy a new mouse because this is ridiculous. find another Logitech. But here we go. Boom. Nice. Hitting a 5-minute level. Boom. Creates a loot zone. And then boom, sells off. I mean, that was wonderful, actually. Wonderful, wonderful trade. Price moved beautifully there. And then we see price take out these lows. So that was pretty solid if you really look at it that way. Um, that's nice. Nice, 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 nice. Go back to Nasdaq for a second, our favorite pair, but Nasdaq was kind of not as clean on the sell-off. It was cleaner here, but like in terms of like C4s being created, S&P had that joint clear as day. Okay. And then PM session, we had a nice little move higher, take out these highs. Not surprised. I didn't trade Mondays. I just took my one little buy, called it a day. But if we're to even pay deeper attention, look at Nasdaq around these lows. Let's look into it for real. So Nasdaq around these lows. What did S&P do? It didn't do so. And then we have boom, a C4 created. So this is highest wick. And again, we had a nice. You can kind of see. Guys, this mouse. The reason I'm so mad about it is double clicking. But anyways, you can see this right here. Boom. So price traded into this. So this could have been also a nice setup where we had a SMT created and we see this PD arrays being formed. Right? Right. For a nice little run. This 8-point run. To take out these highs. So that was actually very nice. Look at the lower time frame for a second, see if there's anything there. Not the cleanest, but nonetheless, it was there. I mean, we had a 1-minute inverse loose zone if I really want to draw this out here. Don't feel like it. But over here, it became more obvious. Obviously, there's more time in there. Probably kept on exploding higher. But nonetheless, the PM session offered something nice. So we had a couple setups that were really simple, straightforward. Starting with, of course, the buys that took place on NASDAQ. These buys over here, price dips into that. Boom, give us a nice move. Again, let's go back to that 1-minute time frame to really recap for real. It hits it, boom, creates a C4, boom. It just keeps pushing higher. Nice little entry here again, boom, to take out these highs. Straightforward, straight to the point. I think it was even clear again on that 15-second chart. Sometimes you got to go down to nitty gritty once it hits your higher time frame level. In this case, the higher time frame level was a 15-minute level. So hit this 15-minute level here. All right, we're recapping. It hit it here. Boom. Went away. Right? C4 created. Boom. Went away. New C4 created. Boom. Like entry right there as well for a take off. Okay? And then let's go into S&P. The S&P had, again, nice sell-off right at lunch hour, right? C4 created, price runs into that, explodes low. I mean, that was simple stuff. Explodes lower. If you look even closer here, there's a nice little loop zone between here. The price hits it a couple times and then sells off. And then over here, 5-minute chart again, nice little loop zone create. After S&T, these lows here not getting ran out, but Nasdaq they did. C4 created, price trades that, and then takes off. Just very nice. So nicely done. So that's going to be it for today. I mean, going forward, I'm still expecting, price to run higher. But we'll wait. We're going to wait for 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is a strike time. So I'm going to keep on coming back to you guys to see what price did after 10 o'clock. That is the question. Can you be patient to not press button until then? But until then, Hustle Traders is out. And I'll catch you guys later on next one. I'm going to do this daily. Okay, I'm back on. on my foot to the fire this one. I'm gonna do this daily. I don't care. Student of the game. I want to keep on doing this for free. I enjoy it, and honestly, I miss doing this. When I'm not doing it live, I do it less on my own. If I'm being real, when I'm live on YouTube, talk to you guys, putting my information out there. I don't care who's even watching. I'm able to do this every single day, and it drives me right because trading can be boring. Just talking to yourself a lot of times. If you don't talk, so you're talking in your head. So I'd rather use this format to talk about what I'm seeing, what I'm expecting, so I can reinforce my expectations versus just keeping it in my head. So that being said, it's gonna be free game for you guys. Free game, and again, I'm a student, not a mentor. Okay, so you like 5 years plus of experience, but we are expecting going into next week. I mean, going tomorrow. These highs are still in jeopardy. I'm still watching that. I'm just gonna pull out my phone real quick and see if there's any news I need to be aware of. Let's just see for a second. ForestFactory.com. Tomorrow, nothing. Wednesday's where it gets, no. Thursday? Thursday's where it gets cracking because CPI. But Wednesday, tomorrow, nothing. But again, we'll see what touch these highs here. Or ideally, what I really want to see, guys, is if we drift lower. I'm not sure unless we overcome and go below this 1 hour level here. As long as we're above that, we can come all the way down. This is actually what I want to see. And then make our way back higher. That'll be nice and smooth. If it wants to do that. I'll be fine with that if it does that. I don't know if we'll do all that though, but I'll be okay with that. I wouldn't stress about it. All right. So, anyways, if you enjoyed this one, follow. Talk to you guys next time.